Now, everyone knows that when you're a teenager, you define yourself in terms of the clothes that you wear and the music that you listen to. And in the 1960s in Britain, many teenagers were either a mod or a rocker. In May 1965, Alfredo Marcantonio saw himself as a mod.
The whole mod thing really started around 1958, the end of the 50s. Rock and roll and the modern jazz thing reached the UK and sent the young people in the UK into kind of two slightly different directions. On one hand, you had rockers following the American influence of rock and roll, and on the other hand, you had the modernists, as they were called, who followed modern jazz. The way you dressed, they believed, was very effete, so you got a lot of stick. We saw them as being greasy, uneducated, unpleasant. They knew that, so there was always this animosity. I remember once a Ford Consul full of rockers cutting me up on my scooter to the point where I had to sort of stop, giving me a few whacks and a couple of kicks, and all falling about laughing, jumping in their car and driving off, leaving me by the roadside. So you sort of grew up feeling oppressed by the rockers. And I think that was one of the things that was behind the explosion of violence that happened in 1964 over the bank holiday weekends. Even on the way down to Brighton, we were aware that there were more scooters going past us, and when we arrived down there, many more mods than usual, many more scooters than usual were there, notably outnumbering the amount of rockers. Somebody had the idea of throwing a deck chair off onto the rockers below them. That's probably where it first took off. The mods seemed to break up into little groups and went off pretty much looking for trouble. Little sporadic fights happened, smashing of windows, a bit of wanton destruction. There was a lot of people, I seem to recall, being penned in on the beach. Brighton Beach is a mass of stones, so there was a lot of them throwing stones. I was down on that front area. The police van slowed down and a policeman's fist came flying out the side window and clipped me on the ear. I guess I could be accused of being something of a coward at the time, because I never really started running at the police or fighting anybody. You know, you'd paid good money for your outfits. You were not going to risk getting them dirty. I felt at the time, wow, isn't this great? There's so many of us now. I can finally walk down the streets where I live, not worrying about being attacked by some greasy-haired guy in a leather jacket and his mates. People try to put us talking about my generation. Jeff Dexter, who is quite a famous early mod, said, when you're a mod all the way, from your first mohair suit till when your hair turns grey. My hair's grey, so I guess I'm guilty as charged, and I probably still am a mod.
Alfredo Marcantonio, half a century on and still proud to be a mod. And why not?